He recorded 69 total tackles, paired with 6.5 sacks, and a move from pure linebacker to an off-ball edge hybrid. Over the season, Reese garnered plenty of attention in the draft community because of his constant flashes as an edge rusher, paired with his consistency as a tackler and enforcer as an off-ball linebacker. Also, Jalen Walker's success most likely contributed to Arvell Reese's draft hype because now people know that these off-ball linebackers can transition to the edge at the NFL level and play very well. Towards the end of the season, however, the hype train fell off a bit and has remained stagnant, but he still is being talked about as a top prospect in the draft. So today, we will be diving into Arvell Reese as a prospect, talking about his strengths, weaknesses, and how he projects to the league, and how I view him as a prospect in this class. This will be my first prospect deep dive for the 2026 NFL Draft, and as we inch closer to draft night, there will be only more to come. So, if you do enjoy this prospect breakdown, please like and subscribe for more NFL and draft content throughout the draft season. I'll be breaking down prospects, giving my top 10 players at all positions, and more. So, with that out of the way, let's get into Arvell Reese. Jumping into Arvell Reese here, starting with his strengths. The first thing that really jumped out on film is the stuff you can't teach. The athleticism for Arvell Reese is outstanding. He stands at about 6'4" and 243 pounds according to his spring measurements, so a little light if you project Reese to take that full leap to edge rusher at the NFL level at 243, which is 6th percentile at the edge position. But for reference, Jalen Walker played full-time on the edge this past year at 6'2", 245 pounds, and played very well, so it's not the worst thing in the world. But at that height and weight, Reese plays incredibly fluid and fast, with a projected 40 time in the low 4.5s or possibly even 4.4s. You can see his insane closing speed in both of these clips chasing down Fernando Mendoza, who is by no means slow. Even on this play, Sonny Styles, a very athletic linebacker in his own right, has a head start to Mendoza, but Reese still beats him to the quarterback. You couple that speed and athleticism in that body along with Reese's amazing play strength, and you've got an unbelievable ball of clay to mold for your liking in an NFL defense. And we haven't even talked about Arvell Reese's best attribute, which are his super long and lanky arms. His arm length sits at 34.25 inches according to his spring measurements. That's good for 78th percentile at the edge position and 96th percentile at off-ball linebacker. These long arms are his defining trait on tape. He uses them to easily stonewall and stand up offensive linemen who are 70 to 90 pounds heavier than him, and uses his amazing upper body strength to effortlessly chuck them aside. He attacks blockers better than any linebacker I've scouted in these past 5 years. I mean, just stands them up with just no effort whatsoever. Many people wonder why scouts and draft analysts are so caught up in arm length, and it's because when you have someone like Arvell Reese, he is at such an advantage because he controls the point of attack. Because of his longer arm length, he's able to engage the blocker head on and not allow him to get into his chest. So all Reese has to do is use his strength and anchor to stonewall the lineman or tight end, peek back, and then use the blocker's momentum and balance against him as he simply pulls down using his strength, sending the blocker hitting the turf, and Reese can glide around and make the tackle. These long, lanky, but powerful and strong arms allow Arvell Reese to control the point of attack on nearly every play, giving him an insane advantage. And this helps not just against the run, but while rushing the passer as well. Arvell Reese has flashed uses of crazy good speed to power because of his insane athletic ability and pure speed. He can create tons of momentum and unleash it using his long arms. Diving more into the pass rush side of Reese, he may not be all there yet, but there sure is a lot he showed and a lot of upside in that part of his game. His quickness and athleticism at his size make it almost impossible for offensive linemen to stay with him, and he has shown some really good pass rush moves like this really nice ghost move against Penn State, as well as those speed to power rushes I talked about earlier. There is a lot of promise in this part of Reese's game, and it's why many project him to take the move to full-time edge rusher at the NFL level. The measurables and strength combined with the elite athleticism is too good of a package. But in my opinion, Reese does not have to make the switch to full-time edge. He's still a very good off-ball linebacker, and he has very good run fits and sheds blocks easily using his long arms, and he can use his speed to knife into the backfield. And unlike most of these edge off-ball hybrids, Arvell Reese is not bad in coverage. He may not be very great in coverage, but he certainly is not bad and can hold his own. So you see the appeal with Arvell Reese at all phases. His versatility is insane. He can play off the edge, off the ball. He can blitz from the middle. He can rush the passer off the edge and can cover receivers downfield somewhat well. His rare combination of strength and athleticism makes all these things possible. Not to mention he is a fantastic tackler, as he only had 4 missed tackles on the year, and you see the power behind his tackles. He is a very hard hitter. He was an excellent QB spy as well this past year, just another thing he can do at a very high level due to his athletic ability. You can see all that Arvell Reese can do at such a high level with still room to grow, as Reese is only going to be 20 years old on draft night. The athleticism and strength are Arvell Reese's defining trait and contribute to his massive upside projection at the NFL level, and you can see why many people love Arvell Reese and why he is projected to be a top 3 to 5 pick in the draft. Now, just like all draft prospects, Arvell Reese is not perfect. We talked about the weight earlier being super light for an edge defender if he does make that transition, but again, Jalen Walker did do the same thing at a similar weight last year. But every prospect is different, so just because Jalen Walker made the transition doesn't mean Reese will just as well. And the biggest thing is there is a good bit of projection with Arvell Reese. Especially as a pass rusher, he just isn't all there yet. While there were a lot of really nice reps from Reese on the edge rushing the passer, it certainly wasn't all pretty. There were tons of reps where he doesn't land his speed to power perfectly and just gets stonewalled by the tackle. This plays into another issue for Reese on the edge, and it's just his pass rush moves. He just doesn't really have an arsenal right now. He flashed one nice ghost move against Penn State, but other than that, he just didn't show enough moves and ways to get to the passer when he played on the edge. And because of his lighter weight, if he doesn't get a good head start to create momentum, he really just doesn't generate a lot of pocket push. The one thing I think Jalen Walker did better than Arvell at the college level was Walker had much more pass rush moves he showcased when he rushed off the edge. He had a bull rush, long arm, swipes, speed rush, all these ways to beat the passer that we just haven't seen from Arvell Reese yet. I do believe he can develop more moves and can get better as a pass rusher off the edge, especially with NFL coaching, but again, you just have to project it and you don't know for sure at this moment. And obviously there are some deficiencies at an off-ball linebacker. He isn't the best in coverage and his run fits are not always perfect, and the reason why his hype sort of slowed since his crazy good start is his production fell off near the end of the year, especially in the pass rush department. Now, on film, he didn't have too many good pass rush opportunities in his final few games that I saw, but he still was simply not getting a ton of pressure off the edge. I still felt like he was just as dominant as a run defender, but he clearly was not generating the same amount of pass rush as he was earlier in the year. So, everything is not perfect with Arvell Reese, just like with any prospect. He is very light for an edge rusher if you plan to switch him to that full time, and there is a bit of projection for him as a player as a pass rusher. So, moving on to my final analysis of him, the pros certainly outweigh the cons with Arvell Reese. Reese is a player who has fantastic versatility because of his rare athleticism and strength. He flashes off the edge as a pass rusher. He has a great dominant ability to shed blocks. He's a dominant tackler, and he's one of the most athletic players on the field at all times. But he's not a perfect prospect. He does have a bit of a way to go as a pass rusher off the edge, and you just have to project that he will take that next step at the NFL level. But the strong, long arms he uses to control every interaction give him such a high floor and high ceiling as an NFL player. Many view him as taking the leap to full-time edge rusher at the NFL level. I do think he eventually makes that move, but I do think, at least for his rookie year, I would play him how Ohio State did. I would play him as sort of a hybrid while he develops that pass rush arsenal and gets more comfortable with NFL lineman strength. But his dominance as an athlete popped off the film for me. His ability to control every interaction with his arms, his flashes off the edge as a pass rusher, his speed to chase down quarterbacks all show that Arvell Reese can be a dominant player at the NFL level. It will take a little bit of development from a pass rush standpoint, but we have seen plenty of players take this leap. Micah Parsons, Abdul Carter, Jalen Walker all made the transition from linebacker to NFL edge rusher, and all have fantastic starts to their careers. There is no reason Arvell Reese cannot do the same with significantly better tools than a guy like Jalen Walker. Personally, I think Arvell Reese is well worth the top 3 pick in the draft, and since I will most likely be doing a post-Super Bowl mock draft, you can look for the Jets to take Arvell Reese at number 2 in that mock draft. My final grade I had for Arvell Reese after evaluating all his tape was a 9.7. A true blue chip prospect for me, and I believe he will be a stud at the NFL level so long as he gets good enough coaching and can develop his pass rush moves. But even if he doesn't, he's got a super good floor and is dominant against the run with unreal athleticism. He is my number 1 player in the entire draft, and I think he will eventually be a perennial Pro Bowler to All-Pro level pass rusher and defensive weapon. And I think pretty much any team in the NFL would love to get Arvell Reese on their NFL roster. So those were my thoughts and interpretations of Arvell Reese based off every game he played this season on film. He ended as my highest graded player in the draft and my number 1 prospect, and I think he will be a superstar at the NFL level. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you want more of this draft content, and that'll be all for me today.